What's going on, Hex people? It's Matt here from Crypto Coffee, and today I'm coming at you with another video about Hex, as usual, and all the great stuff going on. So, got myself a new chair today. It's got some good lumbar support, some good headrest support. That's the kind of stuff I've been kind of investing in while I'm stuck here in my house, you know. All the stuff that is for your house that you never really thought about getting, but now that I'm not leaving, you know, what better time to invest in stuff that's just good for you, to be home and quarantined. But anyways, guys, check out the Hex charts. We're looking at a 5.26% up move today. That's pretty good. We're at 74 total ranking out of all cryptocurrencies today. Incredible, guys, absolutely incredible. But we've been following this stuff every day, so this is nothing new if you've been following the project. One thing I did realize is that on CoinMarketCap, if we hop over here, I believe CoinMarketCap is actually reporting Uniswap volume now, but don't get too excited about that because it's not necessarily accurate, although it might be. I'm actually not too sure yet, but we've got $68,000 worth of volume on Uniswap today coming in from on CoinMarketCap, and that looks to be, let's compare that with what's on Coin Paprika. Yeah, guys, we got a pretty much equal amount of volume that Coin Paprika is reporting. So, I mean, I think they kind of got it right on the Uniswap front at least, or pretty accurate, right? Now, what's throwing the data off, I believe, or who knows, off or on, is all these other exchanges that are being fed into CoinMarketCap that Coin Paprika is actually not tracking. So believe it or not, at this point, due to cat.ex and LBRY and ChainX, which is a Korean exchange, we're actually getting a lot more volume reported from Hex on CoinMarketCap. However, we're getting a lower price. So we got to be honest when we're looking at this stuff, guys. A lower price wouldn't be the end of the world if we're getting more accurate volume. However, they are reporting ChainX at $718,000 worth of volume in the past 24 hours, which is accounting for apparently about 90% of total volume on Hex. And I have no way to verify whether this is legitimate or not. So it might be, it might not be. Take it with a grain of salt. But just a quick heads up that CoinMarketCap is now reporting quite a few more pairs than Coin Paprika is. That's not to say it's any more or less accurate. And that's by reported volume, so let's see if we can filter it by adjusted volume. Adjusted volume is just about the same. We're getting still $700,000 being traded on ChainX, which is accounting for still 90% of the volume, allegedly, on Hex. So, take that for what it's worth, but we've got still 4 10,000ths of a dollar, 4.3 10,000ths of a dollar on CoinMarketCap versus 4.8 on Coin Paprika. So, let's try to take all these data sources into consideration, and maybe it'd be kind of cool if there was something that aggregated all the data sources that reported Hex volume. But yeah, we would need somebody to build that. A quick update that I want to hype up before it launches, and it's going to launch any day now, but there's a new website out called HEX Business, and it's being worked on by Michael and a lot of the guys in the Telegram channel, or one of the many Telegram channels. And it's basically an aggregator website for a whole bunch of Hex things. Now, I know it's not the best header here. I'm sure they're going to fix this and make it smaller. But if we scroll down, it's kind of a place where you can go to HEX.business and you can download the new Hex mobile app that's coming out. You can also get linked off to various other games and activities and platforms built on top of Hex. And basically, their mission is kind of to add extra use cases and longevity for Hex. So it's a website that launches you off to any kind of a game, tool, app, or way to learn about Hex. So you come to Hex.business and you find out all these cool things you can do with Hex. So it's a pretty simple website, but the stuff that it launches you out to is actually really, really cool. So Hex.business is the website, right? And the primary creator of Hex.business, or the creators, are also the creators of HexMobile.win, which is a brand new mobile app. So I don't know if you guys remember the FUD from a couple weeks ago, about how an app developer had stopped working on an app in HEX just because he didn't feel like working on it anymore. Well, now basically the same code is back. It's back with even more functionality. And so you can subscribe to this website too if you want to get updates about what's coming out. But this new HEX mobile app is going to launch for iOS and Android, along with an APK file so that all of China can access the app. So let's take a look at the HEX mobile app. That's a really good looking screen. If it looks anything like that, I can tell they've obviously done some UI revisions and some UX enhancements. So it looks really sleek and professional, and I'll be sure to do a demo of it as soon as I can. But HEX Mobile, Google Play, App Store, also an APK file, meaning you don't have to have Google Play or an App Store. So if you were in a place such as China, for example, you would be able to download this app too. And essentially, from what I understand, it's going to be an onboarding tool very similar to what I demoed in the past, where you basically generate a QR code where you or a friend could just send Ethereum to. It'll enter the adoption amplifier and send you HEX right back, taking out a lot of the steps in between. I believe the app will also allow you to track certain statistics and maybe even have a cool visualizer or tools within it. But yeah, I don't really know yet, so we'll have to wait and see when that comes out, and I'll be sure to do an update. Some other cool stuff that is launching off from HEX Top Business is a HEX Lotto referral program. So it's a referral system, and where 5% of the winnings go to the referrer. So let's check out what that is. It's on hexlotto.com. So hexlotto.com is actually ready to launch any day now. I'm not sure if it's already launched. Looks like it's live. Yeah, it's live, guys. So you can go ahead and purchase a lottery ticket, essentially, for either an hourly, monthly, 300-day, or 300-year lottery ticket. And the total amount of HEX in each pool will, at the end of the time increments, be given out to one lucky winner, right? So there's been 62,000 HEX donated into the hourly bucket, meaning at the end of the hour, everybody that entered tickets, that bought tickets with their HEX, one of those people will get the reward of 62,100 HEX. Same thing with monthly, 300 days, and 3 years. Now, not a whole lot of people have put any HEX in the 3-year bucket yet. Seems like nobody wants to wait that long, but it would be pretty cool to see that bucket become huge over time, right? And, maybe before the 3-year mark is up, let's say it could have multi-millions of HEX in that bucket to one lucky winner, right? So 3 easy steps to win. It links up to your MetaMask wallet. You deposit HEX and you buy lottery tickets in return. So a minimum of 25,000 HEX entering each tier is what triggers it to be active. I'm trying to figure out how much a lottery ticket costs. Oh, for 5,000 HEX you receive 1 ticket. Okay. So just a game, guys. It's really just gambling. We do know that a lot of cryptocurrency-minded people like games like this, and apparently they're having a partnership with Toucan, which is some other game that pays dividends. So 10% of the Lotto treasury is actually going into Toucan. So maybe this was even created as a way to fund the Toucan project. I don't know, but a simple and straightforward lottery game will attract attention. I won't be playing it personally, but you know that the kinds of the gambling types of folks that come to crypto are going to be interested in that kind of a thing. I mean, to me, just buying HEX and staking it is good enough. I'm happy with my potential gains on that. I don't need to go gamble away my money on a lottery, but hey, if just owning HEX isn't enough for you, go ahead and join the lottery, man. What do I care? I really wouldn't advise it, though, so just to be quite honest with you. This thing that we launched also from HEX Top Business is called hexpool.win. Hexpool.win is actually a good idea, and that I can see myself participating in as well. So what is it? Essentially, it allows people to benefit from the bigger pays better staking bonus, whereas not a lot of smaller fish really have that ability. So in order for bigger pays better to really take an effect on your staking rewards over time, you need to stake multi-millions of HEX in a single stake. And for a lot of people, that's just not feasible, right? So they're buying increments of less than 1 million, and even though they can benefit from longer pays better because there's no, I mean, that's all down to just what's your time horizon, right? But bigger pays better, well, some people might just not have the economic means to have a bigger stake. So Hex Pool helps you buddy up with a bunch of other people to basically maximize the gains by making giant stakes. So pools are automatically entered when you reach a threshold collectively of 150 million. So everyone's kind of pooling their funds together. Again, this connects to your MetaMask wallet too. And each pool has a length of either 36, 365, or 3650 days, which is like 10 years. And you can enter the pools as many times as you would like. Once a pool ends, the proportions that everybody donated to that pool are given back with these bonuses. So you're going to have much larger big payday bonuses, or sorry, bigger pays better bonuses with this kind of a system. So this is something that I've wanted to see for a while now, and I'm happy that it's finally coming to fruition. So it's in the works. You can donate here. You can add it to your MetaMask wallet. And something to keep an eye on, guys, because that'll allow people to really benefit from the game theory that Hex is so brilliantly implemented. We've got another link to hexlotto.com, and then we've also got a Telegram link for the, if you want to join the Hex Mobile Telegram group for the app. But that's basically what we're working with here. So I'm sure a lot more will be added. There's a lot of other Hex websites and cool tools and everything that we can easily link off to from this site. So if you've got any ideas, donate to this project, click their referral link and help them out. And also just send them ideas in their Telegram chat about stuff you might want to see on here. So I'm sure they got a pretty huge backlog already, but it's worth a shot. Now here's another thing that's cool. A website came out a few days ago, and if you haven't heard about it yet, you should check it out. It's called anotherhex.win. That's anotherhex.win. So sounds a lot like hex.win, right? Well, it's exactly what it says it is. It's another one. So anotherhex.win essentially has all the same functionality that go.hex.win has, where it allows a user to enter the staking pool every day, basically enter the adoption amplifier, see some cool stats on the top that go.hex.win does not show you. It allows you to link off to Uniswap, and it even plugs into your MetaMask wallet to see when your stakes are expiring. It has a better visualization of the referral system and a better estimation kind of the value of your hex when it gets released to you. So there's actually more functionality on here than there was on go.hex.win. And you can even run the flush address too. So that's something that you previously could only do from the smart contract, which you could have done in etherscan.io. But you can also do that here now too. And you can also even emulate different addresses in the adoption amplifier lobby and see how they would perform. So kind of a cool tool if you ever want to kind of snoop on somebody. But you can put their address in here and see how much hex they hold and how much hex they stand to gain over the course of, their staking terms. But I think really the coolest thing about this whole website, guys, is it provides redundancy for the project. If go.hex.win ever goes down for the remainder of the 200 days left of the adoption amplifier and beyond, you're going to have a second one. You're going to have another hex.win ready to go with, it's a little bit different, but essentially the same functionality. And I like how it's all black and white too. It's kind of a cool concept because it's like it's just like incognito mode or something for go.hex.win, but not really. But in the risk of anything happening to the original site, this site provides a safety net to allow the average Joe user to continue to use Hex in the way that they want to. And now that's not to say that even if both of them went down, you wouldn't still be able to use Hex. You would. But you would have to be more technically savvy to understand how to use the smart contract on the blockchain. Whereas this provides a nice graphical user interface for you to interact with. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just wanted to share that. Now guys, somebody asked me about Hex the other day, and they asked me a few questions that were pretty basic, but one of them was, what problem is Hex solving? And it's a very important question that anybody should ask themselves when a new crypto is created. Why do we need this? And essentially what I see HEX, the problem that it's solving is a stable store of value. Now, you might say, oh, we already have Bitcoin for that. Well, during this whole coronavirus outbreak, I think HEX has kept its value a lot more stable than Bitcoin has. And maybe it's just a fluke, sure. But even if, I'm not saying Bitcoin and HEX can't coexist, but I think they're really trying to solve the same or a similar problem. Now, Bitcoin's narrative has been changed throughout the years, right? So first it was digital cash, then it ended up landing on a store of value, like digital gold. HEX is a little bit different. HEX is a digital CD, so time locking your money to gain interest and monetizing time. Bitcoin doesn't do that, but basically the problem that Bitcoin or that HEX is solving is storing wealth and providing gains for the long-term financial stability and success of your future. So that's the problem it's solving. It's a large problem, and so it kind of sounds ridiculous to say that to some people, but if you tried to tell people 10 years ago that you wanted to invent a digital currency to overthrow the traditional Federal Reserve banking system with quantitative easing and all that, and create a stable store of value based on math and code, that would have sounded just as crazy, right? So this is basically Bitcoin, but with time-locked money, monetizing time, and trying to replace, for example, a CD type of product at a bank. So if DeFi is going to replace all the banks, then you got to replace the CD as one of the main products. And then another question that was asked to me was, well, where can you even buy HEX? Where is it even traded? And I'm sure that individual, just didn't happen to see HEX on the 2 or 3 exchanges that they were familiar with. But where can you buy HEX, guys? Well, it's easily available at over 15 exchanges right now. I mean, you've got Buydesk.com, but it's centralized and has KYC. And I've got the whole list up here. You can obviously go to go.hex.win. That was the first exchange, not really exchange, but first place to buy it. You've got hexdex.win, which is Uniswap, which is the greatest decentralized exchange available. And then you've got Buydesk. Now, you've got so many other ones that it's ridiculous. You've got bitcoin.com. In Korea, you've got chainx.kr. You've got bitblinks, vsex.pro, hotbit.io, lbank.info, zg.com, catx.io, homiex.com, p2pb2b.io, fulgari.com. A lot of those that I just named were Chinese. A few low-volume guys like abit.com, xrates.com, and very many soon coming. So in early April, we'll have xt.com. In the EU, we're going to have yobit.com, coinsbit.com, atomicswapwallet.io, and then 3 or 4 different dexes: forkdelta.app, saturn.network, etherdelta.com, mcafeedex.com, and finally, we've got some over-the-counter OTC Telegram groups where if you don't want to interact with a middleman or a DEX, you can go ahead to the OTC groups and hope that you don't get scammed. So just use hexdex.win. It's the best one. It's Uniswap. But if you're thinking, or if somebody ever told you that HEX is not on any exchanges, well, I just listed probably more than 10 that are available right now, with another 5 to 10 in the near future coming. So don't listen to the FUD, guys. Stay aware. And with HEX, there's new stuff coming all the time. So what cool new stuff could be happening in the future? The one thing that keeps coming up over and over again is a way to do margin trading on top of HEX, so that you can have derivatives like futures and even contracts to potentially short HEX as well. So I think that would be really great to see. Therefore, I mean, if that were to happen, then any doubter of HEX could go ahead and short it and put their money where their mouth is, and then really just get wrecked on a couple of large buys and short squeezes. So that's what I would like to see next for HEX in the future, but I'm just trying to cover every new thing that comes up, kind of as it comes up, and not leave any stone unturned. Alright guys, ad campaign update time. So we've got our first kind of canary release, which is over and did very well. This campaign ended yesterday, and this was the test run essentially with $100 to see what worked, what didn't, and who was getting all the views and everything like that. So you can see we really ramped up near the end of it there after I kind of figured out some stuff. and started doing some placements on some channels that really hit hard. We had a couple hundred views every day. The campaign's over, but you can see we've got over 100,000 impressions for $100 and a view rate of about 1%, which is pretty good. Placements. Let's take a look. Let's see who did the best. Good old Peter Schiff and the Atlantis Report, which is a kind of a ripoff of Peter Schiff along with some other doom and gloom type stuff. They gave us the most views and the most bang for our buck. Followed right behind Graham Stephan, who's a make money online guy. And then our good buddy Ivan on Tech. And followed by a few other, Lex Friedman, who's I think he's a physicist online, makes videos. Really smart guy. He did pretty well. Ryan Scribner is another make money online guy. Altcoin Daily did alright. I think it's funny because Tone Vase takes the lead on view rate percentage. So not the highest amount of views, but almost a 3% view rate. So how ironic is that, right? And we've got a couple of duds down here that didn't really do well. The Kaiser Report, Dollar Vigilante. But now we kind of know what works and what doesn't. So guys, if you have channels that you want to see me advertise on, you all donated, so just shoot me a recommendation and I'll be happy to add it. It's really not that hard. What I'm doing in my next step is you'll see over here to the right, or to the left, sorry, is we've got 3 new basically campaigns that are going to be running in parallel. Now, these are going to be, basically one group is going to be a bunch of cryptocurrency related countries. So people like countries like Bulgaria, like Korea, like China, Russia, big countries that aren't America and the US, that basically have different demographics. And let's take a look at who we're advertising to just so I get that right. It's worldwide, but it's only select countries that, number one, that actually have money to be spending on this kind of stuff, that are relatively first world, and number two, that have proven to be interested in crypto, whether it's their governments or their people or both. So we've got Singapore, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Estonia, Hong Kong, and I literally just Googled like top cryptocurrency usage countries and took the top 10, and I also added a few more like China and Japan that weren't on the list that I just kind of had a hunch about, that I've heard about before. Ukraine, Belarus, Estonia. Yeah, we're all over the world, guys. It's pretty crazy stuff. Again, all male, and this just kicked off today. So you can see we've got a great start today. And I'm putting $200 into each of these parallel campaigns, by the way. But the Crypto Countries campaign has already hit 5,000 impressions, 63 views after a few hours of this running. So it's a great sign, and a lot of the videos got approved. A few of them didn't get approved in Russia, but that's Russia. They've got some weird laws over there that I was not aware of. So that's that. Then we've got a video consideration campaign for the whole world, for anybody that speaks English, right? So we're still working on getting these approved. Oh, they were approved. Okay, that's awesome. So these were all approved. This one was limited in Russia again. And then this one's been getting disapproved. The Richard Hart and Craig Wright's been getting disapproved because they think it's like a ticket sale. It's really not a ticket sale. So I keep trying to change the wording and explain that I think it's because Richard Hart and Craig Wright are on a stage. Maybe something like with the recognition, the video recognition, or something in the audio transcription is getting picked up as like a live event. And for some reason, you're not allowed to show, you're not allowed to sell tickets. And I'm not trying to sell tickets here, but that's what the bots are thinking that I'm trying to do. Only with that one video. The other 3 were approved. And we'll take a look at the overview on that. We don't have any data coming in yet, but they were approved, so I'm sure that that'll start to refresh over time as we get deeper into this. It's only day 1, guys, so really exciting stuff. And finally, we've got the US and Canada, which is kind of our highest value user, in my opinion, because Richard Hart speaks very fluent American English, and a lot of the existing user base is already in the United States. And that worked out very well last time, but let's take a look really quick. We don't have any data flowing in yet, but these were all approved, and the Craig Wright one is under review. So that's where we're at, guys. Really cool stuff, and really excited to be sharing that with you. I'll give you the play-by-play. If anybody wants to know anything at any point along the way, just hit me up in Telegram, in the Hex Pro channel or the regular Hex channel, whatever you want. Alright, finally I'm going to end this on a short note. Again, from a reading from our Lord and Savior Richard Hart in his Sci-Vive book. He had a paragraph in here that I thought was pretty awesome, which I just want to point out. He basically says, shit talk is unavoidable. You know the person that can put a video or on television that doesn't get shit talked or insulted in the comments? No? Correct. Everybody gets shit talked, everybody gets insulted. So do I. And I do mean everyone, even Mr. fucking Rogers, right? So therefore, don't worry too much about being shit talked. It's unavoidable in anything you do, especially if you're trying to do something important. So I thought that was pretty cool. What else really is there to say? Hex is at interesting times, being a Black Swan event itself as a project, but also going on at the same time as this whole Black Swan coronavirus thing. So there's positive Black Swans and then there's negative Black Swans. But one thing that I've been reading about in this book called Black Swan is that basically positive Black Swans tend to take place over a longer period of time than negative ones. So that's basically because it's easier to destroy things than to build things, right? And so the positive Black Swan being Hex is not going to happen overnight, whereas a deadly virus that is, super effective at infecting people can kill a lot of people over a few months, right? And, when you think about it, coronavirus isn't happening overnight either. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process where we see people and cycles of people, quarantining. Then we think it's all good. We think everything is fine. We go back outside, we stop social distancing, and the tail of the curve spikes back up again. And that's what's going to happen probably 2 or 3 times, in my opinion. So either way, these are both unpredictable, high-impact outlier events that our models couldn't really predictably ever assume. But one of them is destructive, one of them is constructive. And again, the probability or the definition of a black swan is low probability, high impact, and by definition, unpredictable, right? So this black swan, whether it be the HEX project or the coronavirus, it's not like it was undetected by anybody. It's all subjective through your own individual knowledge. So if you're lucky enough to be in the know of this project early on, it's going to feel like a black swan when it goes mainstream. People are going to be like, oh my god, how did this happen? How did this new cryptocurrency get to the #1 spot? They're not going to see it coming at all. But that's not to say, there weren't a few people in China that got sick and then thought to themselves, oh fuck, this is going to be bad, right? So it's asymmetric. Information is asymmetric. Different people have different information, and so we should feel lucky that we're at least in the know of this, and that we do know how to stop negative black swans by social distancing, such as with the case of coronavirus. Now, it's kind of like when you're doing a project like HEX that's this high magnitude and this much of a long shot, it's useful to kind of formulate a really bold claim and then look for an observation to prove yourself wrong, right? So if you're ever having doubts about HEX, make the bold claim to yourself that HEX is going to do something great, take the #1 position on CoinMarketCap, and then go out there and look for a way to prove your hypothesis false. I mean, this is the basis of the scientific method. So use negative inference, right? You can be more certain about what is false than what is true, in general, not always. There's a caveat to everything, which is not always, right? But you can be more certain about what is false than what is true. So think about it, right? What are the game theoretical mechanisms that have caused cryptocurrencies to attain their status? And what has caused them to come and go as well? And then look at all the things that HEX has to put in place to stop that from happening. So I've already kind of been through the ringer. I'm trying to doubt HEX to myself, and I really just can't, guys. So again, you have to question things from every angle, but This is one of the most fundamentally sound projects that I've seen in theory, and we'll see how it works out. So, history is created by black swans like this. History is created by unpredictable events. It does not crawl. History actually jumps forward. So it jumps forward in these drastic, unpredictable events because people are doing things that they're not supposed to do. I was watching a video about how, I don't know if anybody had a PlayStation 1, but I used to love this game called Crash Bandicoot when I was a little kid. And it was one of the very first PlayStation video games that was a platformer that had like a big character, and it kind of became the mascot for the Sony PlayStation 1. And the way that they built that game was the game developers actually took memory out. They would go into the C libraries of the PlayStation itself, and they would cut out and delete little bits of the C libraries that they thought weren't being used. And that would free up more memory than your average game back then would typically ever have. And so it was able to process images at a greater processing power, at a greater speed than any other game at the time. And it was truly revolutionary. And that was because the game developers were tinkering around and doing stuff that they weren't supposed to do. So if you have the thought to yourself, like, what is this Hex project? And wait, can you really just do that? Like, can we really just do this and make a cryptocurrency that is the #1 on market cap, even though Bitcoin's been #1 for years? And the answer is yes, because history is created by things that are unpredictable and that will surprise you if you're on the wrong side of information. So I hope this video ages well. And as always, guys, keep calm, hex on, and have a good rest of your day.